Hi everyone, so today we look at a bear, a very special bear. He is smarter than your average bear, according to himself. He is a cartoon bear and his name is Yogi Bear. And he's living in Jellystone, not Yellowstone National Park, which was my mistake last time. I thought he was in Yellowstone.
RetroKork.
Now, I could go on and tell you all about Yogi Bear, Boo Boo Bear, Ranger Smith, and, Barbara cartoons in general, but if I were to go that in depth, we'd still be here tomorrow. Nobody got time for that. Instead, I'm going to talk about 3 Commodore 64 games that are about Yogi Bear. Well, Yogi Bear and his friends. So, let's get going. I'm going to start with, obviously enough, Yogi Bear, a jump and run game from 1987 by Macmillan Limited. In this game, you have to rescue Boo Boo from a hunter. Oh, and grab some picnic baskets on the way without being caught by Ranger Smith. Oh, falling into water, oh. Well, you get the idea, don't you? Pretty much everything is a threat. This game is what I like to refer to as a 2.5D game, as you need to go into the background a bit for some obstacles that you just simply can't jump over. Instead, you have to navigate Yogi around them. Now, I have to admit, I'm not very good at this game. Its collision detection is obviously not agreeing with me, and vice versa. Now, while this game is rather basic in its gameplay mechanic, it can be quite tricky because you'll have to deal with a puzzle consisting of stepping stones, which you have to cross to get the key to the cage your little friend Boo Boo is kept in. And the clues to which stepping stones you have to step on in which order are on candy apples that are scattered all along the way to Boo Boo. Well, this game actually has some music, though I find it rather lacking in that regard. It seems to have only one jingle, basically, in the beginning. Next up is, in my list here, Yogi Bear and Friends in The Green Monster, A Treasure Hunt, published by Hi-Tec Software in 1990. Now, many websites give this game a tag, apply a genre to it, and some websites call this an adventure game. But I'm not so sure about that. I'd rather call it, well, a puzzle game. While, yes, you need to run around a map, wander around many locations. These locations, this map is, first of all, always seen from a tilted perspective, and it's filled with things, possibly alien. And in this game you need to open the doors that have Yogi's friends and the titular green monster behind them, so you can add the green monster curse, which is kind of the reason why everything is going on. And ultimately, by moving the curse to someone else, probably making Yogi much more hungry for picnic baskets. Now, in this game, you're constantly there's constantly playing a musical loop that feels kind of inappropriate for this kind of game, with its simplicity. It would be better off having some kind of incidental music that befits the scenario this game takes place in, which is that all the toys have been stolen. And now, for the last game that is about Yogi's Great Escape, again from 1990, again from Hi-Tec Software. This again is a jump and run title, though this time it's not in 2.5 dimensions, but rather just 2 dimensions, making it more along the lines of an unfair kind of Super Mario game. Your sole objective seems to be to go all the way to the right in each of the 6 stages, within the time limit. Now, I personally find the jumping mechanic, which is also used for what I feel is precision platforming, I find the jumping mechanic to be not that great. I mean, I've fallen through platforms where I was sure I was supposed to land on them. And apparently I was 1 or 2 pixels off, just that, so that's annoying. Add to that the fact that some of the platforms are moving, some of them even moving off the playfield, and that there are enemies in the way, some of them moving around, some of them more static. Well, you're in for a game that is, well, I'd say somewhere in the realm of Nintendo hard in its difficulty. In fact, I would call it unfair. Wait, I already called it unfair. Foiled again. And some of the sprites, well, they look like they've come straight from the ZX Spectrum version of the game. Just saying. Now, if I had to recommend one of the 3 games, I would probably say that Yogi's Great Escape, even though it is extremely difficult to the point of being unfair, is probably the best of these 3, though that's not really that big of an achievement. I mean, none of these games are great to begin with. In 2 weeks, well, let's stick to cartoons featuring the Hanna-Barbera sound effects library. Well, how about some wacky races next?